I can see a lot of students here. Good evening to everyone. Chakshu is here, Mahesh is here, Ananya is here, Aryan, Ayushi, Mahika, Puneet. Well, good evening to everyone. I hope you're able to hear me. If not, please you guys can just switch on your videos as well so that I can at least I can know whom am I talking to. Hi, Aryan. Good evening, Puneet. Good to see you here. All right. I think while the others are still joining in, let me just set the context for today's session. Again, I would love for it in case if everyone can have their videos on, it just makes my life easier. I solemnly swear that I'm a vegetarian and I do not eat human beings. So you can switch on your video and we can have a good chat about it. Hi, Monish. Hi, Yushi. Okay, I think we will. Okay, I have Aryan. Thank you so much for switching on your video. Others as well, can I have the same thing? Varshini is here, Ananya is here, Monish is here. I have someone by name HP Pavilion. I'm hoping that you have a nicer name. Sambhav is here, Tarika is here, Ayushi, Maika, Yasha. So many of you guys are here. And I wanted this to be a very small group of people today as well who were engaging with us. So let me try and see in case if I can just see your beautiful faces once so that we can start off as well. Hi, Athar. All right, while everyone gets started with their videos as well. So usually the way that I do, my name is Anju, first of all. I head the admissions and marketing at Rishihood University. I've been with Rishihood for about 1.5 years, prior to which I worked with a lovely university called as Flame University in Pune. So I think liberal education something is a space that I've been ardently working on for quite a few years. And I thought, I've I think met a few of you all earlier as well. If not, well, hi to all of you again. My entire idea with this particular session was to talk about liberal education as a field, what sort of majors, what sort of minors. I'm sure that a lot of you all would be listening to at least a lot of conversation around major minor combinations, interdisciplinary learning. A lot of school textbooks now have started talking about national education policy, how universities should be aligned to the national education policy of 2020, and a lot of other conversations as well. So I've been getting a lot of requests from students in and out on a daily basis saying that, can you at least let us know what exactly is liberal arts or what exactly is liberal education and how can we benefit from this? So I thought, let me do a quick interactive session. I usually do webinars because it's more of a one-way conversation that I have, and I have a lot of students interacting with me on a chat box and likewise. But this time I thought, let me have a smaller group of students that I can talk to as well, understand what your profiles are, and then build the narrative around liberal education as a topic. So quickly, maybe from Aryan onwards, and I'll call out your names. If you can just unmute yourself and give me a brief background about what you're currently doing, and what are the sort of goals or what are the sort of interest areas that you're looking at. Aryan, can we start with you?
Sure, ma'am.
Yes, Aryan.
So good evening, ma'am. My name is Aryan, and I'm from Dehradun, from the Aryan School,
Okay.
Dehradun. I have my
Okay.
subjects as commerce with mathematics, and I wish to
Okay.
pursue economics at the undergraduate level so that I can
Okay.
work with the Indian economic services sector of the country.
That's fantastic. And why economics particularly? Why is that interest particularly in economics as well?
Ma'am, I don't have a perfect reason for that, but I have always
Mhm.
seen myself inclined towards economics, so I wanted to do something.
Okay, okay, fine, fair enough. All right, so that's good. And any other areas that you're looking at also using in terms of perspectives that you want to use from a different field into your economics piece of study as well?
I haven't thought about that
As
right
of
now.
now in
Yeah.
economics. All right, fine. So you've done a commerce with maths and
Yes, ma'am.
you're looking to pursue this year. You're getting into a college this year.
Yes, ma'am. I've completed
All
my
right,
grade
fine.
12 this.
Okay. Okay, fine. Fantastic. What about Varshini? Thank you so much. And where are you from? You said you're from Dehradun, right?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Varshini, can I have a little bit about you as well? If you're comfortable, you can switch on your camera. If not, you can unmute yourself and just let me know a little brief about yourself. Quickly, guys, I don't want it to be a very long session. It's a Saturday evening. And whether or not you're working or not, Saturday evenings have a psychological duty that all of us should rest. So yes, what about Varshini? Can you please go ahead? Jal, you'll have to unmute yourself in case if you're willing to talk. Let me give it a few seconds. Okay, I don't know whether Varshini is there at that window or not. Can I have Ananya Sharma? Yes, Ananya, go ahead. I can see you have unmuted yourself, but I can't hear you. So either try seeing that if you're connected to the device well, or otherwise. Okay. All right, we'll come back to Varshini and Ananya. Monish, can you go next? Quickly, guys. We don't want too much time. I just need a quick brief so that I can understand which areas that I need to cover as well. Yes, Monish?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Why can't I see
My
you,
name is-
Monish? Are you
just
so
a second,
gorgeous
ma'am.
that you don't want to show us your face?
No,
Don't do
ma'am.
that, please.
Just a second. There is a camera problem, actually.
Okay, that's okay. So where are you from, Monish?
I am from Punjab, ma'am.
Okay, where
Punjab,
exactly in
Patiala.
Punjab? Patiala, all right.
Punjab,
And which
Patiala.
school are you from?
Augustin International Public School.
Okay. And what are your plans? What are you currently doing?
I'm currently doing design for.
Okay.
I'm pursuing design for future, and currently I'm
Okay.
doing my art studies.
Okay. Okay. Where are
which
you doing your art
includes
studies?
nothing, ma'am. Self-study.
Okay. So you have completed your grade 12, Monish?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Which
I
year?
have a year gap between.
So
22.
you have a year gap. So you completed it last year. And you're now looking at increasing your knowledge for design as well. It's interesting, very interesting. And I think gap year is one concept that in India, at least, I've seen that we don't give a lot of importance to the gap year. But I believe that if you're not, I won't say very clear, but if you're not someone who has complete conviction on the sort of course that you're taking in, I believe that a gap year does a lot of good things if you utilize that gap year well. If you've not been able to utilize that gap year, then it's a trouble. But if you have done a lot of certifications, a lot of things to improve your profile, I think that'll be good. So what area in design specifically?
Specifically in the interior architecture.
Interior architecture. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay. That, and what areas do you think can combine with your knowledge of interior architecture? What can you use to sort of build better structures within interior architecture as well?
As a minor subject, I was thinking about business,
Okay,
which can
all
help
right, all right.
in expanding my thought of mind also.
Okay, okay. Do you have a family business that you want to work with, or you want to start up something of your own?
I want to start up something my own.
Okay, all right, done. Good, very good. Then next, can I have Alok? I think I have someone by name Alok as well. Oh, you're the HP Pavilion. Alok, can I have you? Can you unmute yourself, put on your video, just give us a brief about yourself? Yes, no, yes, no. The chat box is also open, although I would prefer talking to you. Okay, we'll come back to Alok in some time. Sambhav, can you go next? Guys, we'll just take about 10 minutes for this because it's very important to set the context as well. Yes, Sambhav. Hi, you are on mute. That's the catchphrase of the millennials.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Please tell me, Sambhav, where are you from? What are you planning to do?
Ma'am, I am from Kurukshetra, Haryana.
Okay. Okay.
Ma'am, I recently taken admission in Rishihood University in BBA course.
Oh, thank you so much. Congratulations. Welcome to the cohort as well. I think it's lovely that I can see some enthusiastic kids here. And what are your plans, Sambhav? After BBA, kya karna hai?
Ma'am, business.
Your own, or you want to join your family business?
Ma'am, family business.
You want to join your family business? That's fantastic. Okay. All right. Can I have Jansi? I have met Jansi and I know a little bit about Jansi. How are you, Jansi? Can you go ahead? You are already, your mic is already on. Can you give me a little bit about yourself as well? I don't know whether she can connect with me right now. Okay, let's look at next person. Can I have Mahika?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Mahika.
Ma'am, I'm from Nashik and I
Okay.
want to pursue psychology. I'm just done with my 12th this year.
Okay. 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 Psychology is a very, very interesting field and probably has applicability across all fields. One of my favorite topics to discuss as well. That's good. But what with psychology? What do you want to do with a psychology degree?
Well, first of all, as of right now, I want to understand all the fields in psychology so I can, like properly assess all my options and then go ahead accordingly.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I am interested in industrial psychology.
Oh, that's interesting. That's very, very interesting and very specific as well. Any particular reason? How did you get your interest in industrial psychology particularly?
I just researched about it a little bit and it caught my eye. Not like much of it. I don't know a lot about it right now. So I would like to, understand other fields as well.
Okay, fine. All right. And that is good. That is good. That is good. So let's hope that I'm able to help you a little bit at least with that. Next up, can I have Atharva? Thank you so much, Maika. Atharv, can you also go ahead next and just let me know a little bit about yourself?
Hello, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening. Yes, Atharv.
Ma'am, I completed my grade 12 last year,
Okay.
and I will be pursuing bachelor's in design and have taken admission in this year.
Okay, fine. All right, all right. Congratulations, and again, welcome to the cohort as well. And you want to do bachelor's in design? Any particular specific specialization that you're looking at?
I am not too much specific about which field to choose. I guess I will be deciding it after the foundation year.
Okay, fine. All right, all right. That's good. It's good actually when you're not very. So I just had a counseling session with someone, and the child was very, very, she was very, what do you say, flustered with the fact that I'm so confused. Everyone around me seems to have a clarity. कि मुझे economics ही करना है, or I want to do only this subject or that subject. And she was like, I really don't know. I'm very, very confused. But the thing about confusion is that it keeps your mind open. When you're open enough, then you can actually explore multiple things as well. So I think confusion is good. Let's not, let's not worry too much about that. But thank you so much, Athar, for sharing that. Vansh, can I have you next?
Good evening, ma'am. I'm Vansh. I'm Anju.
Yes,
I'm
Vansh.
from Delhi, and
Okay.
I just finished my 12th this year, and I want to pursue a course of BBA.
You want to pursue BBA. Why particularly BBA? So I'm guessing you have a commerce background as well?
Yes, ma'am. I have commerce with maths.
Math?
Yes, ma'am.
Commerce with maths. All right, fine. And why the BBA program particularly?
Ma'am, BBA because I was always inclined towards business related area as my family also does business. So I want to do BBA, then masters, and then start a business.
Okay, fine, good enough. That's a good lot. I have a feeling Vashini's mic is working now. Vashini, can you go next? Don't shut your mic because I called your name. You can go ahead next and just tell us a little bit about yourself. Let's not keep everyone waiting. All right, I'll come back to Vashini again. Vashini, if you want, you can text back on the chat box as well. That's not a problem. Can I have Swarupa? I have Raga Swarupa. Lovely name. Swarupa, can you just give me a little bit brief? Yes, hi, good evening. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, ma'am.
Yes, Swarupa, tell me a little bit yourself.
So my name is Raga Sarupa. You can call me Raga. Just
Okay, Raga. So Raga is all right, that's nice. I have a friend called Saga, but she's from Finland. I don't know whether there is any particular correlation there. But what are your plans, Raga?
So I'm looking forward to like doing a dual degree this year. One in economics and one in computer science for data science and applications.
Okay, that's interesting. So you want to combine economics and computer sciences as a field. Do you think computer science may be too science oriented and maybe a stats program would be better, or computer sciences should do the work for you as well?
Actually, I haven't decided of combining these two, but I'm just interested in pursuing these two fields right now. So yeah, after 3 to 4 years, I might like make a decision of either combining or pursuing one
That's
field.
good. That's good. That's good. And Raga, where are you from?
Yeah, I'm from Delhi.
You're from Delhi as well. Good. So I have a lot of good Delhi, Dehradun, Punjab, Bala crowd. Yasha, can I have you next go up and just let me know a little bit about yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Yasha, please tell me.
Ma'am, my name is Yasha and I'm from New Delhi. And I have done my class 12 in 2017. Then I
2017?
Yes, ma'am.
That's amazing. Okay.
Then I did 3 years diploma in fashion designing and currently looking for a degree course.
All right, fine. And what areas did you cover in your diploma? Fashion design you mentioned, right? So you want to pursue a career within fashion only or something else?
In design field.
No, so I'm saying, do you want to pursue something in the fashion design area or something else altogether within design as well?
Ma'am, related to journalism, fashion journalism or graphic design.
Okay, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Good. Fashion journalism. After a long time, I'm hearing that from someone. Good. And you're from Delhi as well, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much, Yasha. Can I have quickly Mahesh? And then I can have maybe Ankur and Chakshu and Jansi. So Swati, I'm not going to bother to ask you. I know you very well. Yes, Mahesh, go ahead.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Mahesh.
Myself, Mahesh. I belong to Uttar Pradesh, but hails in Sonipat, Haryana. I completed my schooling from Jain Vidya Mandir Senior Standard School, Sonipat. And I am doing a small business related to art and craft. And I earn some money from the business.
Okay.
And I am looking from interior designing courses.
So if you start studying full time in any particular college, how do you plan to pursue your business then?
मेरी सिस्टर है मैम, वो हेल्प कर देते हैं मेरी.
ओके. और आपका तो बिजनेस आपका है कि बिजनेस घर का है?
घर पे है, होम घर से चलता है मेरा बिजनेस. मैं रात को भी कर सकता हूँ बिजनेस, कोई वो नहीं है मेरा.
Okay. All right, fine. Done. And what if so you've just completed your 12th as well?
Yes, ma'am.
And what are your plans for your business? आगे आपको कैसे expand करना है?
मैम बिजनेस एक्सपेंड करने का भी कोई वो नहीं है, बस इतना है कि अपने लिए अपनी फुलफिल कर सकूं, मैं अपनी नीड्स को फुलफिल कर सकूं, बस उतना ही है. अभी मेरे को अपना इंटीरियर डिजाइनिंग में करियर करना है.
Okay, fine. Done. Good enough. Thank you so much for that. Can I next have Ankur and then Puneet and then Chakshu? Okay. All right. Ankur says I can't unmute, but Ankur, can you just type it out on the chat box with respect to what you're doing and what do you want to do? So I get a little bit of a brief about you as well. Let me just jump to Chakshu. Chakshu, can you go next?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
I'm Chakshu Verma. I'm from Satna, Madhya Pradesh. I will be pursuing BBA.
Okay.
Yeah, and I had science in 12th. So
you had a science in 12th. Oh my God! आपने ऐसा crime कैसे कर दिया? Science से निकल के आप commerce field में कैसे आ रहे हैं? ऐसा कोई बोलता नहीं आपको? No one comes and says
Ma'am, everybody says that. Everybody.
Okay, fine. But what is your motivation to get into business?
I actually didn't like science very much. Like I'm really bad at physics. And I love maths, numbers, basically, statistics, probability. So that made my mind wander to business.
That is good. And do you have any plans to set up something of your own, or do you want to get into corporate? Where do you want to take your career ahead?
I was considering HR actually.
Okay.
I'm really fascinated by that, but like I still have a lot to figure out.
Okay, fine. And one last question: what does your name mean? Because it's very interesting.
My name means eyes, ma'am.
Oh, all right. Okay, that's nice. All right. Can I have? Thank you so much, Akshu. Jansi, can you go next? Jansi, can you unmute yourself? Jansi is from somewhere down south. I've had a word with her long back, but I'm not very sure right now. And I think there's some trouble there. All right. Puneet sir, would you also like to give us a little bit brief about yourself?
Yeah. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, Anjuji, and all the kids. It's so nice to hear all these kids speaking and different subject that they are saying. And I'm so nice to see that people are interested in doing their own business, immediately following their family business. That's really nice. Wish everyone all the best. I am from Bangalore. I basically am from Himachal Pradesh. And I have a lot of cousins who are right now in this phase of life when they have just completed 12th and want to see what they want to do next. And I really liked your point where you're saying that, the kids have to, especially the parents also, have to understand the break or a drop year. That's really very important, which is given a very, very less importance in India, of course. But then, not everybody is at same pace, Everybody is running their own race. So wish everyone all the best here. Really nice to see these kids talking. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Punita. So we're going to have, so now that I have a good brief about a lot of you all, I'm again going to lastly call out Alok. Alok, if you can unmute yourself and give me a little brief, then fantastic. Otherwise, I'll just dive into the session right away. 3, 2, 1. Okay, let me dive in. And again, I would request everyone, you don't have to switch on your mics, but you can switch on your videos so I can have faces to talk to. Trust me, since COVID, I've done so many online sessions that I'm now bugged of not seeing faces and only saying you're on mute everywhere. Good. So liberal education is a very, very interesting concept. And I think the sort of context comes through in place with respect to whatever conversation we've had till now as well. Some of you wanting to get into business, some of you wanting to get into economics, you want to combine computer sciences. Let's look at the root for this concept called as liberal education, right? A lot of people think that liberal education means that the education part in that course is going to be very light, okay? So most of the students that I meet, or most of the parents, not even students, most of the parents that I meet, often come to me and say, "Ma'am, liberal arts ka program hai. It is a liberal education course. To bahut halka hoga. Would you teach anything or not?" That's the perception. But I believe that liberal education is not so liberal in terms of the rigor. It is a rigorous program. Whether you look at Rishihood, whether you look at Flame, whether you look at Ashoka, whether you look at Laksha, so many universities across the country today that are delivering quality and the right kind of liberal education. So what does this word mean? When I say liberal and when I attach it with education, it basically means that it's an education platform where you will have the choice to go ahead and be flexible. Go ahead and explore more interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary courses. And it's a very small fact. Let's look at something. I was just giving this example, I think today in the afternoon as well. So let's look at this, right? I have a phone in my hand. Can you tell me, and all of you all can unmute at your own convenience, can you tell me that what are the things, who are the people, and what are the sort of thought processes that go into making a phone? For example, I know that we need a design perspective because we need to design the phone the way that it looks. Yes. So who are the other people? What are the other thought processes going on in terms of making the phone? And anyone can go, just unmute yourself and go ahead.
The technical aspect, like the
The
assembling of the
technical
phone.
aspect, correct. So we have the tech part. It is a tech product. We need to get our functions, we need to get our systems, everything right. And who is the tech part? The tech part is usually with the guys who are doing computer sciences, with the guys who are doing proper tech courses as well, right? What else? We've spoken of design, we've spoken of tech. What else?
The
What are the other
commerce,
aspects?
the commerce part as well, design, the getting with the right price for the product, seeing
Okay,
what
so that
all
is,
things
so
are in what.
someone who's correct, someone who sets the price is someone who's going to be like you, who's going to be pursuing economics, who will understand supply, demand, how the society functions, and then decide on the price, right? What else? Anyone else as well? There are no right answers or wrong answers, so just go ahead.
Artificial
Yes,
intelligence and machine learning for apps
correct.
and
So you need, correct, for apps and everything, you need AI, you need a Siri on your phone, you need a Cortana on your phone. So you obviously need an AI and that particular part. So again, technology, again, computer sciences. So that's one part. What else? What else? What else? What other aspects?
Promotion of the phone.
Promotion of the phone, which is done by who?
Ma'am, it is done by to management courses and
Management courses. Someone who's specializing in marketing, someone who specializes in marketing will devise promotional aspects for the phone as well. That's good. Now tell me, when we are promoting this, will the guy go ahead and promote it the same way to all of the audiences? This phone is being
Depends
sold in
what
Delhi.
the
This phone
target
is being sold.
audiences.
Yes.
Depends
Yes.
on what the target audience is.
Depends on what the target audience is. Okay. Once you were saying something.
No, ma'am, he will not go to every audience and promote it. It will be a mass promotion, like advertisements and billboards
Correct.
and like.
Correct. So he's going to do a mass promotion, but tell me something. Will the messaging be the same? For, let's say, I'm promoting this phone in Delhi, and then I'm promoting this phone in Chennai, right? So tell me, will the messaging be the same? हम क्या एक ही ad use करेंगे? We'll use the same ad, or we'll tweak the ad a little bit.
No, ma'am, it will be different. Like if Chennai people like something that Delhi people don't, then in the advertisement in Chennai will promote, will focus on that aspect more. That will...
Absolutely fine. That's bang on, right? So I have different audiences, different thought processes. So if I'm probably positioning a phone to someone in Delhi, maybe the value proposition for that phone is that it will give you a certain social status, it will give you a certain credence, respect in your society. If you go to someone in Chennai, he'll be like, yaar, mujhe chodo, pehle batao phone chalta hai ki nahi. How does it work? So they're more focused on functionality. So maybe we'll talk more about the functional aspects of the phone. That is great. Now, who will decide this? Marketing guy is not going to do this. Marketing guy ka kaam hai, wo jaake bech ke aayega. He will say, this is the messaging, go and buy. But who is giving him this input that this is right or this is right? For this audience, you need to do this particular way. Who is the person? What sort of brains, what sort of background will that person have?
Someone in management background, the manager.
No, very specific. No, not necessary. Subject, study subject background. Bataiye.
Psychology or communication maybe.
Fabulous. Psychology is something that will seek in, or rather seep into this particular concept, because psychology is nothing else but you are studying human behavior as well, right? Okay. So we've done psychology, we've done computer sciences, we've done economics, we've done what else? We've done the design. What else? What are the other areas that will be covered if I have to go and sell a phone?
If I can say from the
Yes,
industry part, it will have to be the BBA and management, somebody who runs and ensures that all the complete team is working together.
Absolutely right. So we have to look at the management of the product, how it's going, what are the finances, whether it's going to make profits or not. So we already have a finance profile or a management profile that is there. Okay, now let me look at this a little more closely. And I'm sure you can't see this anywhere on the screen, but in case if you get a chance, you can check it across ahead. Okay, on my phone, on this particular red phone, there's something written here at the bottom. Okay, near down under the logo, there's something written on the bottom. And this says product red. This says what? Product red. No other iPhone has this. iPhone comes into multiple colors, multiple variants, but mostly you only have the Apple logo, right? You don't have product red. This one has product red. Can anyone tell me what is product red? What is product red? What is product red? Because it's a red color phone. Is it then other phones should also have it? No, product blue, product green, product yellow.
Maybe a limited edition.
No, ma'am.
Limited edition. Yes, Vansh.
Every red color phone Apple sells, a proportion of their money is donated to cancer patients. So it is
absolutely fine. Not cancer necessarily, but for a lot of other ailments as well, predominantly HIV. So Red is a company, is an organization that helps a lot of people who are affected by HIV in Africa. So one portion of the proceeds that go in buying a red colored iPhone actually go to the company called as Red. And that's a brand collaboration that they've done with the phone. All right. Now, this collaboration, it's a social part, right? It is not something related to iPhone's business. It's a difference. It's like contributing to the society, which means it comes under a segment called as the corporate social responsibility. Now, who are the people? What sort of processes, what sort of backgrounds can get into corporate social responsibility? Usually people with backgrounds of sociology, usually people with backgrounds of developmental economics, developmental studies, and so on and so forth. So my idea with this is that one particular phone, one particular product genuinely requires multiple ways of understanding a certain, or rather multiple perspectives in ensuring that that product is actually very successful in the market or it is successfully launched as well. So when you're problem solving, so does this mean, and maybe you guys can answer yes or no as well, can I very safely say then that if I let's say if you graduate from a design program and if you join a particular company, you get a problem to solve, will that problem come and say that, hi, I'm a design program, I'm a design problem, or you're a design student and you can only solve the design part of it, or you're going to look at the problem as a whole? What are you going to do? In a company, if you start working and the boss comes and says, ki, Maika, this is a problem that you have to solve. Will that problem say that, hi, I'm a psychology program, psychology problem, or hi, I'm a design problem? No, or is it going to be a complete problem and then you have to understand? Yes, Maika?
It would be a complete problem.
It'll be a complete problem, and I have to go ahead and figure out the multiple perspectives that are involved. Everything in our life is interdisciplinary. Look at yourself as an individual, as a person. I am a very different person when I'm talking to students. I am a very different person when I'm talking to someone who's been a friend with me for the last 20 years. I'm a very different person when I'm talking to my parents. I'm a very different person when I'm talking to maybe corporates, or I'm a very different person when I'm talking to peers from other universities, right? As a human being, you are different people and being the same person as such. So naturally, interdisciplinarity is something which is very ingrained in all of our lives. In fact, a beautiful example of this is universities or other centers of excellence of the past, like a Takshashila or a Nalanda or any of these. If you looked at them, they would get, and I'm talking about, thousands of years ago, they would invite students from different countries. Around 10,000 students would join a university or a center of excellence like a Takshashila or a Nalanda, pursuing courses in astrology, in economics, in geography, in sciences, in you name the program, and they're doing that. Why? Because there is a certain sense of interdisciplinarity in everything. Do you think music and math can be combined? Someone was interested in math. Can I get a degree in math and then combine it with music and make something out of it? Math is a very logical field, no? Very logical. Tuck, 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 tuck. 2 + 2 = 4. Music is all art everywhere. The way that you feel, you can sing it out. The way that you feel, you can create music. So can I combine the two of them and make something out of it? Yes, no, yes, no. You can put it on the chat box. You can unmute yourself, whichever way. Yes. Can you combine? Yes or no? Either ways. Think for a bit and tell me.
A weird combination, but we can.
It'll be a very weird combination. Okay. Why would it be a weird combination?
Because both the subjects carry a very different aspect. Like music is quite open,
okay,
and maths is like just stick to reasoning and logical stuff.
Okay. Okay. All right. What else? Who else? Sambhav, Monish, anyone else? Can you combine math and music?
Yes,
guys. Yes or no?
We can enjoy doing maths along with music.
So we're listening to music and we're doing maths. Hamara dimag zyada chalta hai. That is more your comfort. No, I'm not talking from your comfort perspective, but I'm saying that if I have to combine these two as a subject and actually create a business out of it, actually create a career out of it, can I do the two of them together? Interestingly, you can. Look at mathematics. Mathematics, there's a beautiful concept called as geometric progression. Yes? So you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, blah, blah, blah. You have a certain pattern that is there. Music also has a pattern. It also has a rhythm. You always play music in a certain beat. So when you combine music and mathematics, you can actually either have a music business and be able to create mathematical models around that to explain to people how that music will actually have an effect, or vice versa as well. Create music to also, if you have a business which is score match, which is very difficult, बहुत सारे कम businesses हैं finance वगैरह में likewise, which can be, I won't say mathematical driven, it's also more reasoning driven, but then there is applicability of music into all of these areas as well. Similarly, let's say, can I combine psychology and design? Can I combine psychology and design? Can I do, let's say, a psychology degree and can I combine it with, Jansi says music is loved by all, maths is not loved by all. So therefore, pata nahi, hum log mix nahi kar sakte. Jansi, we'll see. I think we've not, for a long time, and at least in our country, we've not taught maths that beautifully, but it is a beautiful world and everything in the world that we do is actually math. But we'll come to that discussion sometime later in life. But yes, can I combine psychology and design?
Yes.
Anyone out here? Yes. Why? How? What is the applicability?
We can design stuff according to the target audience, like understanding their psychology and stuff like that.
Yes, yes. So we can understand the psychology of our customer, design it. I think that my design is gorgeous and I create a product, but my customer doesn't understand that at all. So naturally, that's not gonna go ahead. Can I combine psychology and business? Naturally, yes, right? We should be able to. The same concept, I can understand human behaviors and apply to business as well. Tell me something, can I combine design and healthcare? Interesting combination. Can I combine design and healthcare? There is one field which is about healthcare, which is about taking care and so on and so forth. And then I want to combine design. How, Chakshu?
We can combine healthcare with fashion design, like health, like
Why? Or how?
Like the masks, aren't they so beautiful? Some are very differently designed, and like people usually go
you make
with
it more.
Yes, ma'am.
That is true. Okay, so you can create more. Healthcare usually is seen as something which is very depressing in our country.
Yes, ma'am.
We don't look at healthcare as something which is a very happy-go-lucky place, and we can use creative solutions to make that place a lovely place. Fantastic. So I think my entire point is also established, and that's how majors and minors function. So in a lot of universities, when you go ahead and pick up subjects, most liberal education universities, including Rishihood, you will have a certain timeline. So if I'm talking about Rishihood, the first semester is a foundation semester. If I'm talking about, let's say, a flame, it's the first 1.5 semesters, which is a foundation semester. What is the idea? The idea is to let you go ahead and pick up subjects from different disciplines without worrying whether you have a background in it or not. And just going ahead and exploring that, because there will be some of the other perspective that can be taken in. Now, when you are looking for universities, if you've already selected one, fantastic. If you've not selected one as well, when you're looking for universities, it is important that you are prepared for this world as well. Your entire world around you is very multidimensional. It is not unidimensional. It cannot be watertight specializations. Look at engineering today. We used to have mechanical engineers, we used to have civil engineers, and all of these were very, very focused on only one aspect, only mechanical, only civil, only electronic, whichever way. But now if you see the curriculums at IIT Bombay, IIT Delhi for that matter, IIT Madras, you look at all of these curriculum areas, and these are all areas which have started to imbibe qualities of the human sciences within them. Psychology, sociology, these are the subjects that are being taught. Communication, leadership skills, interpersonal skills, empathy skills. What is empathy? the way that I can understand the other one's plight. What decision I take is a very different thing, but I should be in the position to empathize, to understand that particular person's position, and then go ahead and take a decision. I think one of the top skills, and there was a survey by the World Economic Forum sometime back, also by, I think, the National Association of Colleges across NACE as well, that the topmost 4 or 5 skills that a person requires to succeed in the 21st century careers or otherwise as well, these are skills of communication, these are skills of empathy, these are skills of leadership, these are skills of interpersonality. You know, how do you go ahead and mingle with people, how comfortably you can talk to others. These are skills of the ability to learn and unlearn and relearn. These are the qualities that a corporate is looking at, and not necessarily the technical skill alone. Is the technical skill important? Definitely yes. You have to know your business. You have to know your subject well, right? So most liberal education universities focus on the part wherein the skill building happens in terms of a lifelong learning scale as well. So for example, if I have to, I don't know whether I can, let me see if I can share screen and show you just a little bit of a gist with respect to how things are done here. And you can compare it with other good universities as well. There's no doubt about that. Just give me 1 minute. You'll all have to let me know whether you can see my screen now. Can you see the screen somewhere? I know there's some particular issue with that. Okay, let me just push through it otherwise. Just give me 1 minute, guys. I'm not going to bother around with too much tech part. Can you see this on your screen?
Yes.
I'm not even going slideshow because I think it's going to create an issue. All right, let me look at, I'm sure most of you would have received some sort of guidance in terms of how to select a certain university. Most of these criteria are met by most good universities in the country, okay? And I'm not talking about the top 5, top 10, I'm talking about overall. We have in India about 1,000 universities, around 40,000 colleges, which offer a degree or a postgrad degree. So when you are choosing a certain university, you should keep in mind these 7, 8 pointers. One, whether is it a residential campus or not? And I'm not saying it because Rishihood is a residential campus, but because a residential campus ensures that you meet people from different backgrounds. Some of you here are from Delhi, some of you here are from Dehradun. I know Jhansi is from down south, deep down south. There are people in my campus right now who are from Arunachal. There are some students from Africa. There are some students from Gangtok. So when you have a very diverse cohort, which is point number 3 here, staying in a residential campus where you are cut out from all distractions and you can only focus on what you've come in from, your output, the way that you think, the way that you solve problems becomes much more elevated that way as well. Similarly, faculty-student ratios, UGC, the University Grants Commission that governs all the universities in India, says that 1:20 is a good ratio. I firmly believe, and I've counseled students for the last 15 years now, I firmly believe that as a counselor, as a mentor, I cannot focus on more than 10 students at a particular time. Because 10 students means 10 different stories, 10 different problems, 10 different challenge areas, 10 different spaces where they're excelling in their lives, 10 different achievements, also 10 different girlfriend or boyfriend problems. Everything happens very differently. But beyond 10, me as an individual, I cannot process that. So colleges which have a 1:5, 1:10 sort of a faculty-student ratio, please go ahead and choose them, because that place will give you the sort of personalized understanding of your cohort that you need to go ahead. Then, of course, you have the right ecosystem. Ecosystem is a beautiful space. There is a book that I read some time back called as The Managing Radical Change, and one bit of it that I've now sort of adapted for the university space is that most good colleges in bad ecosystems are worse than average colleges in good ecosystems. Try and see what that means, right? Good colleges in bad ecosystems may not be as good or may not be the right choice for you as good as maybe average institutions in very good ecosystems. And what this essentially means is a classic example. Again, I'm going back to IITs. Look at IIT Delhi, look at IIT Madras, look at IIT Bombay, and look at IIT Kharagpur. All 4 of them have been classic cases. All 4 of them have been here for years. They've taken a very good cohort of students as well. But today, if you look at how well they are faring as institutions, year on year, it's only the IIT Delhi, it's only the IIT Bombay and the IIT Madras that compete for the best IITs. Whereas IIT Kharagpur is the oldest IIT that we have. Youth space, everything. Why? Because Kharagpur पहुंचने के लिए आपको 2 train बदल के जाना पड़ेगा. Which means it does not have easy access to industry, it does not have easy access to good academics, and therefore it takes a certain beating with it. Competitive, yes, it is a good institution, no doubt about that. But having said that, it does have its disadvantages. So what are my ecosystems? Delhi NCR is a fantastic ecosystem because you have a place like Gurgaon, which headquarters more than I think the world's best organizations have their headquarters, or the India headquarters in Gurgaon. It's very simple. Only, in fact, just about, I think, last 1 or 2 weeks back, we had a session on campus. We were inviting a lot of people from different places, and I wanted these industry people to meet my students here on campus. And I suddenly remembered that I have a friend who's at a very senior position with Oracle. And one of my students said that, ma'am, can we get to know perspective about how does someone do sales in a tech company? How does sales happen in a SaaS company? How does sales happen in a tech company? All it took me was to call up my friend and say, dude, can you come down? It's just about 1.5 hours from where you are right now. Can you come down and give a lecture to my students? And he was there within 2 hours of me talking to him. I can't do this if I'm in Kharagpur. I can't do this if I'm in Durgapur. I can't do this if I'm in a very small town. So right ecosystem becomes very important. And when this is there, naturally the industry exposure, how much you can go ahead and work with people, how much you can go ahead and experience as to what you need to prepare for after your 3-year or a 4-year degree is very, very important. So that skill, that particular match between what your academic institution is teaching and what the industry wants, if you have more and more exposure to that, that makes your entire education valuable. Then, of course, the interdisciplinary curriculum, we've spoken a little bit about that when it comes to the liberal education concept. An interdisciplinary curriculum in any good university, especially if it is a national education policy oriented space, yes, it's an NEP oriented space. If that's a sort of an institution, then it has a lot of ways in which it can help you combine spaces. So if you're taking a subject in year 1, can I combine one more subject in year 2? Can I combine one more subject in year 3? How many perspectives can I put through to make my problem solution, to make that solution of mine, which I'm going to find out for that problem, much more wider, much more comprehensive? I think that's important. And then, of course, finally, global exposure and focus on lifelong learning. Global exposure goes without saying. We are in a very interconnected world. Today, companies like LG, Samsung, Pepsi, Coke, Sony, Volkswagen, Oracle, IBM, Amazon, Google, all of these companies launch their products and services almost on the same day in countries like US, UK, Japan, India, and so on and so forth. Why are they able to do that? Because we are that interconnected. 30 years back, if someone said, I want to do design, he did not have any access to know about what the world of design was. Very limited access. But today, if you come and tell me that, oh, ma'am, I don't know about this because I don't have access, I'll be like, please, you have Google Baba. Coffee kaise banani hai? Google Baba. Khana kaise banana hai? Google Baba. Baat kaise karni hai? Google Baba. For everything, we go to Google, right? So for everything when we have access to resources at the drop of a button. So when you have that, you use that, and that global exposure comes through. Who are the people who are teaching me? What sort of experience that they get? One misconception that a lot of students in India have is that global exposure necessarily means that I should get an opportunity to go abroad and come back. You know, have a semester exchange program with the university, which is good. It's a very good experience, obviously. But having said that, global exposure does not mean that. Global exposure means that how many people are there within your ecosystem who can give you a global perspective? Do I have someone who's worked with the best organization in the world? Do I have someone teaching me who has probably worked with a Nobel laureate very closely, and he comes back to me and teaches me about that? That is global exposure for you. And then finally, the focus on lifelong learning. Trust me on this, but whatever you learn in the next 3 or 4 years of your graduation program, whether design, whether economics, whether commerce, whatever you learn will probably be applicable for 4 to 5 years after you graduate. And then what? Can I go for another bachelor's? Do I go for another master's? What do I do then? So I think a focus on lifelong learning, a curriculum which focuses on the fact that you're not just prepared for the future, but you're someone who can actually create the future. That becomes your lifelong learning oriented. That gives you that power that even after 5 years or 6 years or 10 years, I have the ability to go back, learn, unlearn, relearn, and then come back to the system again to give and contribute. So that's some of the gigs that you need to remember. And this is probably a blueprint for any university, be it Rishihood, be it any other place. If you think these match, it's a good university, please go ahead and apply. Let me just quickly go through how a liberal education curriculum looks like. And again, I'm only showing this as an example. If you have some more doubts, a lot of you have accepted offers from our end as well. So in case if you have a doubt, you can ask that as well. So liberal education curriculum, typically, which has options between majors and minors, like I mentioned, focuses a lot on lifelong learning. So every student at Rishihood will go through a foundation program. Whether you're joining for economics, whether you're joining for commerce, whether you're joining for design, psychology, healthcare, whichever program, you will go ahead and go through these subjects that are there on your screen. What are these subjects? Let's just look at one or two of them, okay? Just to set the context and you will have a better understanding. Most of you all may work within the Indian segment, or even if you are working outside, even if you end up working internationally, India is a large market in the world today. Yes, for any particular product. Why are we the largest market? Can anyone let me know? Why are there more companies wanting to invest in India? Why are there more companies wanting to set up shop in India?
Cheap labor, good like
cheap
business
labor,
opportunities.
yes. Why good business opportunities?
Good number
Large
of
customer base.
population.
Most populated
Okay,
country.
what else? Most populated country. But China bhi hai, wo to barabar hi hai. But compared to China also has a lot of opportunities.
India has become the most populated country.
Okay,
Higher
yes, we
youth
will soon
population.
become. Yes, we are doing good work there. So yes, population helps us, but more importantly, what helps us is India is the largest country, or probably India is the only country in the world which has the largest young population possible. We are a very young country. The average age of an Indian is anywhere between 24 to 26 years of age, which is the age for workforce, which is the age that you have to have energy and do a lot of work. Yes. And we are also probably the largest population of English-speaking youth, which can speak English very well. We can go ahead and communicate with the entire world. Chinese go ahead and get beaten up there. Therefore, comparatively, it's a little problem. Chinese, the average age is 37, 38, because long back they took a policy that every household would only have one child. There was a one-child policy. You cannot have two children. You can only have one child because the population was going ahead. But now what's happened is, because there's only one child, there are more older people dependent on the younger ones. So their average age is around 37, 38, 39, which may not be the best age for someone to work. So yes, like you guys said, we are one of the largest countries, which has a lot of opportunity there. Now, when we are such a large country with so many opportunities, it is natural, or rather, is it logical for all of you all to understand India first? Forget US, forget UK and everything. वो सब तो हम समझ लेंगे. We keep listening to a lot of stories from the US, UK, and so on and so forth. But is it not important to understand India? What the country is like? What are the sort of background we have? What are the sort of cultural implications we have? How do we people make decisions? I recently met someone from New Zealand, and he was so shocked because he met 4 or 5 of us sitting on a table. All of us were solo travelers. All of us were from different places. All of us are talking in Hindi. And he's like, all of you know each other? I said, no, we all just met. We all just met at this place and we're just talking to each other. He's like, then how are you communicating? Because all of you all know Hindi. How do you know Hindi? You're people from different backgrounds. So that is something, it's a very interesting concept, and therefore that is something that is taught to you in the foundation program as well. Similarly, lifelong learning, we discussed skills like statistics, data sciences, skills like digital and visual communication, skills like academic and professional communication. These are things that are applicable across every bit of a study or each and every part of careers that you would like to take up. Therefore, these become part of your curriculum as well. Then, whatever problem that you solve, whichever company that you go and join, it will go ahead to develop products and services that will address one problem statement in the world. So it is important for you all at this age to start thinking about the larger challenges. What are the larger challenges that the world faces at the same time? So you have a course called the Global Grand Challenges, which talks about mental health. It talks about terrorism. It talks about sustainable problems, sustainability. It talks about climate change. What are these areas and how can we actually become them better? And interestingly, for us, at least at Rishihood, the word literally means achieving your highest potential, which means that a person, not just professionally, not just academically, but overall as a human being, should also be someone who is living his or her best. And therefore, a course like Science of Self-Discovery. Once you're done with these lifelong learning courses, you will also sample courses from each and every discipline. So whether it is, let's say Sambhav is going to go for BBA, Jansi goes for psychology, Raga wants to go for psychology, someone else wants to go for, Arun wants to go for economics. Either ways, you will go ahead and do courses related to all of these subjects. And once that is done, you will get an opportunity that if you think that Aila, maine to join kya economics, but I think psychology is better for me, I want to shift to psychology, you can do that as well. And of course, the last part is my most favorite part, which is the sports and classical music and yoga and so on and so forth. Now, this is a structure of most liberal education universities, not just in Rishihood. Most liberal education universities which are delivering actual liberal education. Please mind you, it is a mandate by the UGC that everyone has to deliver NEP 2020 aligned courses. लेकिन उसका मतलब ये नहीं है that लोगों को ही समझा है that liberal education क्या होता है. A lot of universities, sadly, I see where they talk about offering one program in psychology, one program in history, one program in business, one program in, say, communication, and then say they tell you that you can take up anything and everything from this, and that's a liberal arts program. No, the liberal arts program does not necessarily mean that you only get to combine subjects. It necessarily means that you should be able to understand a lot more about this interdisciplinarity and a lot more about building a very solid foundation as well. So very few universities who can do that. Please ensure that you are looking at only those and apply that matrix that we spoke about, the sort of things. Then comes an entire jig where you understand how my majors function, how my minors function. I'm very glad to also help, make you guys, rather let you guys know that we launched just today a computer science and an AI major as well. We had computer sciences as a minor all along, but we have now launched a computer science and AI major because I think that's been a demand by a lot of students. But look at the entire subject area that you can go. You can take a psychology, combine and applied Sanskrit with it. In fact, one of the other students who joined us, very interestingly, has major interest in Sanskrit, has done such a lot of research within that field. And he says that, ma'am, there are concepts if you look at the Sanskrit alphabet, it has concepts that have applicability in solving the mysteries of the world as well, right from astrophysics to economics to everything else. So he is planning to take an economics major and take an applied Sanskrit minor. That is a possibility. So technically for students who move through a liberal education format, they have a foundation year, the first year, which is a foundation year. You do some courses from your majors, your major core area as well as sample subjects from the other disciplines. Once you've decided your major, you move to the second year where you're deep diving into your major area of specialization. You understand that technical aspect of your field well. You make that stronger for you. Once that is done and you come to your third year where you're specializing, you are applying it more in industry, you have internships, you're doing a lot of project works and so on and so forth. At that time, you have the flexibility to pick up another subject as a minor, add the perspective on. So design student can take a psychology minor, design student can take a sustainable development minor, whichever way, whatever combination that you want to work with here. Add that perspective. And once you go to the fourth year, where you're doing a lot of research, you're deep diving with a lot of project work and a larger way of, or rather a very structured, but a very research-driven component of your subject area. At that time, again, if you want, you can pick up another minor. So maybe with design, you want to create lovely stuff for healthcare, you can combine a healthcare program. But your major degree, whatever is your major specialization, that defines the degree that you get. So if your major specialization is computer science and AI, and you want to combine it with applied Sanskrit, fantastic. You end up getting a BSc honors in computer sciences and AI. Now, that's how your entire program is delivered, and that is how also most of the liberal education universities will function. Now, that's what we call as majors and minors. That is the flexibility of options that you should have. And that is also the way that you go ahead and choose the right sort of a liberal education university. Now, I've had a couple of questions earlier in the past with respect to students who have evaluated a lot of our government universities have also been taking these, these initiatives to go ahead and fix up courses which are NEP driven. While they are brilliant and a lot of them are taking the right step in the direction, honestly, unfortunately, because of our large scale numbers in these universities and the sort of delivery that has happened over the years, I do a lot of teachers training workshops. And I realize that even teachers in government schools, teachers in a lot of other schools as well, do not understand what exactly that NEP means. Unke hisab se certification karna, but certification karna nahi hai. So when I gave you the matrix of how to select a university, please try and see that you're applying that to each and every part that you'd like to evaluate. Then take a call, and it is always the first step. The university or the institution has to select you. So give your best in the process. Once that happens, then you can sit and select the university based on location, based on scholarships, based on so many other factors that you would like to take in as well. So that's on liberal education. And quickly, in case if you guys have any other questions, if anything that you want me to clarify, I think we can take the questions as well. I always believe that you can turn your passion into a profession. I think that's how the world is evolving. That's how education is evolving as well. For me, my passion is talking, and I get paid for talking. So if you let me, I will continue talking for the next 4 hours. But then if you have any questions, I'd love to take them as well. Yes, guys, videos on, mics on, whichever way.
Ma'am?
Yes, Radha.
Yeah, so in the starting, you asked me if I wanted to combine economics and computer science. Like, do you think that I can combine both of the streams?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. It's a fantastic. So computer science as a field as well has evolved. When I say evolved, it's no longer just the tech part or just the coding part, which is, there. What it does is when you have programming skills, when you have, or rather when you can, how do I put this? When you can bolster your knowledge, your quantitative analysis segment in economics with programming skills, that enhances the overall understanding of how you are, how you are able to develop more and more solutions for a certain problem. Because you are getting your logical skills, aapka quantitative skills are taken care of by the computer science program. A lot of understanding of the society, how the society works, what are the perceptions, what are the way in which statistics can be applied. All of this is then dealt by economics. So I think it's a beautiful combination, and you should definitely pursue that if that is an interest. But computer science, even as a minor, is a little heavy in terms of math. So if you have a math background, it's good. If you don't have a math background, it might be a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, I come from the science background, so yeah, I do.
Then it's good. Then I think you can. I think you can do that for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, all right. What else? Anyone else? Anyone else? What sort of programs you want to combine? Questions nahi aata hai, so I'm very, very worried. Either everything went into your head or everything went over the head. I'm just hoping it's not over the head. Yes, Chakshu?
I'm thinking of taking psychology as my minor, but I'm not sure. Like, I'm really confused.
That's okay. Read up a little bit more. One part that we don't do is research a lot. What are your interest areas?
I really don't know right now. I'm confused.
But there's something, you will have something that this is something that I really like, but this is something that I'm like, okay, even if I don't do it, it's all right. So what are the things that you really like? And not just in terms of subjects. In general, in life, what are the things that you really like?
I don't know.
Okay. Let me ask you a different question. When you go to, let's say, a gathering, when you go to a party, when you go to a gathering, and it's a new gathering of people around you, what do you usually do?
I talk.
You talk to
I
everyone?
talk to people. Yeah, I'm
All right. Are
like
you comfortable?
extroverted. Yeah,
All right. You're
I'm
very
very
extroverted. You
comfortable
talk to
making new
everyone.
friends. Yeah.
Okay, fine, fair enough. And do you observe how these people behave? How these new people
Yes,
behave? Does
yeah,
that interest
that
you
I
as
do.
well?
Yes, ma'am.
Then you
I'm
can,
very
then you
observant,
should.
I've been told.
Okay, you've been told that you're very observant. Have you noticed that yourself? Have you observed that
Yes,
about
ma'am.
yourself
Yes,
as
ma'am.
well? Okay, fair enough. And when you see something, when you find a certain problem to you, if someone comes with a problem to you, what are the sort of solutions? Do you immediately dive into giving a solution, or you take some time? What sort of solutions do you give them? Let's say I'm a friend of yours and I come and tell you that Chakshu, yaar, bahut zyada dimag kharab ho raha hai. I have to go ahead and study this subject, but I don't know how to go ahead with it. So what would you actually tell me?
Like, for the time being, it's better to let them let them vent. Like, let the people vent out, say anything that they want to. But like after some time, when they've calmed down, then you give the advice actually.
Fabulous, fabulous. I feel that initially you'd mentioned that you wanted to get into HR, and this I'm just letting you know with one or two things. Maybe we can have stronger conversations and then figure that out as well. But I feel you should take a combination of psychology and business, because there's a lot of scope within the human resources departments. If you see most organizations in the world, if you're a core finance organization, then yes, most of the guys are CAs and CFOs and so on and so forth, the finance honchos who are leading these organizations. But otherwise, a lot of other organizations are either led, the CEOs usually are either people who are from a marketing background or are people from an HR background. Because marketing drives the business, so they have a better understanding of how the business functions. HR has more understanding of organization behavior, how an organization should function, and therefore that same field. Since you are observant and you do have, and you also have the thought that I should let the person vent now and then come back again,
yes,
that tells me that you're not someone who's reactive, but maybe very responsive. I feel that you can take the psychology program, but again, a liberal education course will give you that flexibility either ways. So go ahead, figure out for psychology, apply for that if you get through, or whichever way that it is right now. Once the first semester is done, once you're done sampling other courses as well, then you will be in a better position to know whether you want to switch or not. It's not necessary to switch, but there is an option that you can switch. If you want, you can make psychology, keep psychology as a major, take business as a minor in your third year, or take business as a major and take psychology as a minor in your third year. Whichever way, that decision, you can always leave it for that end of the first semester or end of the first year, depending on the university, and then take it up.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, thank you. Anyone else? Munish, Athar, Vansh? Yes, Maika, go ahead.
Ma'am, so I had a question regarding psychology. So a lot of colleges, they have two psychologies, like one is in BA and one is in BSc.
Yes.
And BSc one is most of the time clinical psychology, and the BA one is applied psychology.
Yes.
So which one do you think is a better program for understanding other psychologies better?
Other psychologies in the sense?
Like other fields in psychology. So I thought initially that clinical psychology would be more towards clinical psychology. So would be a better option for someone who is planning on doing clinical psychology as a master's. And applied would give me a more diverse idea of other psychology fields as well. So I could choose accordingly.
Okay, so usually it depends on what your final outcome is or where you're planning to go for your master's. Now, psychology is a particular field where mostly it is advisable that you pursue a master's before you go ahead and set up something of your own or whichever way. All right. Having said that, if you look at the BSc psychology, like you rightly mentioned, it is more focused on clinical. But if you want to pursue a career in medicine, or if you want to get into core neurosciences, fine, then a BSc psychology may be helpful there. So students who finish a psychology program, a bachelor psychology program, then move on to doing a diploma in psychiatry or a diploma in psychology, a D-Psych sort of a course, and get into the medical field where in medically as a practitioner, go ahead and prescribe pills, prescribe a couple of other things. For them, a BSc psychology may be a little better. It's again nomenclature and nothing else. A BA psychology, on the other hand, will be focused on diverse fields in psychology. So you do get to do forensic, you do get to do counseling, you do get to do education, you do get to do in journalism, in the legal space, in the social work space. There are so many ways that you can go ahead and utilize a BA psychology program. So if you're looking at a broader career pathway, I would advise a BA psychology would be better. And then, like I said, once you are progressing with the program as well, any point of time, you will learn about clinical psychology in a BA honors psychology program as well. It's incomplete without it. Okay. For example, at Rishihood, the course has clinical, it has counseling, it has cognitive, all of those. At the same time, because my dean for the psychology program, Dr. Sushil, is one of India's top neuroscientists. He was working with DRDO. So he has also included components of neurosciences. So what you would be doing in BSc psychology is technically also applied in your psych program here. But that is a specification. I have a Sushil sir, therefore that can be dealt with. I have a neuroscience lab and so on and so forth. Most other colleges, if you're looking at a BSc, would be something that you can figure out for a career in medicine. And as a practitioner, a BA psychology would be something that you can apply across multiple fields. So if you have that interest, if you want to learn more about multiple fields, I would strongly advise a BA psychology program.
Okay, ma'am. I had another
Does that
question.
answer? Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I had another question regarding the NEP education scheme. So I heard that NEP, when you do it, you reduce 1 year in your MSc, or you can directly do a PhD. So will this be applied only in India or as well as in abroad colleges?
Abroad colleges, it depends. So it's a game of all, and I would probably have to have a confirmation for you. I'll probably confirm with a couple of other counterparts that we have. In India, although we've launched the NEP 2020, it hasn't been implemented across the country. Okay, implementation of it is a very different ballgame altogether. Now, very few universities, again, which are truly NEP aligned, which are truly NEP 2020 aligned, will have this option, of course, that you finish a 4-year degree, and like you could do a PhD right after an engineering program, you could do a PhD right after a 4-year psychology program as well. Or you could cull down on 1 year of master's after a 4-year undergrad program. If you look at abroad education, and I have a lot of my students who have done at least the management side, the MBA programs abroad, you will still have to do a 2-year program there. If you want to get into an MBA program for 2 years, it will be a 2-year program, irrespective of whether it's a 3-year degree that you do or a 4-year degree that you do. In fact, the acceptance for a 3-year degree of India, at least in countries like US, has been only a thing of very recent history. Let's say 10, 15 years that people have started, colleges there have started accepting a 3-year degree as well in the US. But otherwise, US at least, most notoriously, has always been known to pick up people or prefer people with a 4-year degree. So abroad colleges, I'm not sure whether that requirement can be cut off. But yes, there is hope, because all of the credits that you accumulate over a 3-year or a 4-year degree get into an academic bank of credits, right? So if that bank of credits satisfies a lot of requirements with your university abroad where you're planning to apply, it may work, but you'll have to be very specifically telling me which university, which country, and then maybe I can help you, or rather I can guide you perfectly with it, because every country is very, very different in terms of acceptance of students as well.
Okay, so I'd have to wait for actually understanding which university I want to go to.
Yes, which country first. So most students who get into, for example, I have my own, one of my students from the past, he has recently made it to an MBA program with Fordham, with Columbia, with I think a couple of other colleges in the US as well, fine? 3 or 4 Ivy League colleges that he's applied to, and he's made it to all of them, but he has a 4-year engineering background. But his engineering degree was done much before the NEP. So for him, it does not align at all. But someone right now, so 2020 mein NEP aaya hai, which means it's only from 21 onwards or 2020 onwards that colleges have started adapting it to go ahead. So 24, technically will be the first batch of students who pass out of a 4-year program through an NEP aligned curriculum, right? So we'll have to see then how that acceptance goes ahead. You will still have to wait for at least a couple of years to know that.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Anyone else? Monish, Raga, Vansh, Athar, Swati?
Ma'am?
Yes, Monish.
Ma'am, if we want to learn more about details about the undergraduate minor subjects, then we can go through the website. Actually, I couldn't find there.
I will send you a document on the same thing. We've been revamping the website for some time, but I will send you the details of what are there in these minors, what sort of subjects and everything else, and then I'll let you know. Yeah? What minor
sure,
are you looking at otherwise?
Actually, I don't know specifically. So I want to learn all about that.
All right.
I want to go through that all.
All right. Technically, all the 6 or 7 majors now, computer sciences and AI included, all these 6 or 7 majors can be taken as a minor as well. Okay. So you can have a design psychology, you can have a business and psychology, business and healthcare, whichever way. So that is possible. So all these majors can become a minor specialization. Additionally, outside of these 6 majors, you then have an option to also take up a computer science or an applied Sanskrit. You can take law and public policy, or you can take sustainable development. These are 4 areas of minor specializations that we have. So in case if you want to club up that with your degree, you can do that as well.
We can choose multiple choices also, right?
Minors, you can do up to 2. If you do more than 2, you're not going to have time to breathe. Please understand the undergrad program is a very rigorous
converting
program.
into minors?
Majors converting into minors in the sense?
आपने अभी कहा ना, मतलब आप मेजर्स को भी एज अ माइनर्स ले सकते हो.
हाँ, वो आप कर सकते हो. तो उसका मतलब क्या होता है? आपने let's say you want to pursue the design program, ठीक है? तो first year at the end of the foundation semester you decide कि मुझे design ही लेना है. आपका second year भी design के courses में रहेगा. आपके third year में major concentration design पे रहेगा. और उसके साथ आप एक minor ले सकते हैं. So let me see. Just give me 1 minute. Let me just quickly take you to the deck once again so that you have a little bit of a clarity there. Okay, this is visible to you?
Yes.
Okay, now in this, what happens is, in the first part of the year, fine, यहाँ पे आपने foundation किया और आपने एक major core कर दिया. So let's say you're doing design, you do some portions of the design program. You will also sample courses across all of these other specializations. At the end of the first semester, if you feel that you want to change your major, आप कर सकते हैं. Once your major is fixed, second year में अगर आपने design चुना है, तो आप design से related courses और specializations ही करोगे. You will go ahead and deep dive into it. All right. Third year is when you start working very closely with the industry as well on a lot of project work, on a lot of life projects as well. So this year you will have the flexibility to pick up one more subject as a minor specialization. Now ये minor specializations जो आप ले रहे हैं, वो किन से ले सकते हो? आप design का already एक major कर रहे हो, इसको छोड़ के ये जो आपको दिख रहे हैं 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can take either of these 6 as a minor specialization. Or apart from this, अगर आपको इनमें से कुछ भी नहीं लेना है, आप sustainable development ले सकते हो as a minor. You can take law and public policy as a minor. So with design, you want to combine, you want to know the legalities, you take a law and public policy. With design, you want to develop more concepts in design in India, you can take up a applied Sanskrit. Or you can take up a computer science program as well. So that's how आप major को convert नहीं करोगे minor. Major आपका वैसे ही रहेगा, but बाकी majors में से आप कोई भी subject ले सकते हैं as a minor specialization.
Understood, ma'am.
ठीक है? What else? Any other questions? We're already 1.5 hours. Oh my God, I didn't realize that. All right, let me not take up too much of your time. I'm going to drop in my contact number on the chat box. I love talking to students at any point of time. If you all have any questions, any other thing that you want to talk directly, you want to write to me, please do not hesitate in reaching out to me on WhatsApp or on email. I'd love to help you guys through as well. There are a lot of other counseling sessions. I'm sure a lot of your counselors would have spoken to you about the Catalyst program. We do a couple of counseling sessions for students on various topics, like one we've done today on liberal arts. There's one on design on Monday. There is one on, I think, but that's most for MBA programs, so wo chhod dete hain. Monday design hai. There's one on economics coming up in the coming week. We also have a counseling session on time management, which is coming up on Thursday with different speakers, with different facilitators as well. So please do ensure that you're attending these, because these will help you prepare very well for college life before you come in. All right. That's my contact number, my name, my email ID, everything. My colleague is also very sweetly did done down everything else. Do connect with me on WhatsApp. And if there's anything else as such that I can help with, I'd be glad to do that. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming in. And I'm hoping to see you guys in more and more sessions going ahead as well.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Aryan.